So today we're going to be talking about the objective function, just a continuation of last day's material. It's going to essentially do exactly what we did last day, except we're going to end up with just one more little extra step. So another thing that I want you to make sure you're aware of is that I am doing the three phrases again, as I was doing earlier in the year. You'll need to listen on the video and listen for today. Marvel superhero movies. Let's begin. So to do the objective function, we're going to do the same as we did last day. We're going to set up the constraints, draw the graph with our shading. We're going to determine the objective function based on what information is told us. And then we're going to find the vertices of where the shaded region, the common shaded region is. We'll plug these into the objective function and determine our answer. Our answer is usually the maximum or the minimum. So for my first example, I'm just choosing a few equations. We're going to do x is less than or equal to 6, y is less than or equal to 4, y is greater than or equal to negative 2/3 x plus 6. And let's pretend that we're trying to maximize a function that goes c equals x plus 4y. Step 1, draw a graph. Make sure you label the axes accordingly. Recall that x equals 6 is a vertical line through 6. Less than would imply that using a test point, we're shading to the left of that line. Y is 4 is a horizontal line through 4. Less than, using a test point, shows we're shading underneath the line. And finally, y is negative 2/3 x plus 6. I start at 6, I move down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. I draw my line through it, use my test point, and here I find that I end up shading above the line. So the common area then would have to be what I'm coloring in orange. Even though the entire area is colored in, there's actually just a few, there's 8 of them, key points that are actually at proper markings on the graph. So I'm marking them in here in black. The vertices are the ones on the corner of the triangle. That's what a vertex is, a corner piece. So they're found at 3, 4, 6, 4, and 6, 2. So according to what we're doing then, what we're going to do is plug each of these coordinates into our objective function and figure out which gives us the maximum value. So when we do, we find that the one at 6, 4 seems to give the biggest value. But just to make sure that you believe me, I will take the other 5 points. I'll rapidly plug them in here to come up with my answers. I've got answers of 20, 21, 16, 17, and 18. So I would still say that clearly the answer, the maximum possible value, is at the answer of 22, which was found at 6, 4. There's a few more steps that are more clearly shown in the textbook. You'll find this on page 341. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to go back to last day's lesson and take example 2 again, the hot dog and hamburger question, and let's look at that because we never really truly finished it off. We did all the graphing. We found the shaded region. It's in that yellow highlighted section. But what I want us to notice now is I've got vertices at, there's 5 of them, 0, 150, call it A, B is 0, 0, C is 200, 0, D 200, 100, and E 150, 150. If you've drawn a careful graph, you'll see these points really easily. The objective function we found last day was the amount of sales is based on $3.25 per hot dog plus $4.75 per hamburger. So if I go and plug each one of these vertices into the function, I find that if I make just 150 hamburgers, I make $712.50. If I make no food, I make no money. Pure hot dogs, I only make $650. And then the two Vertex points, one of them gives me $1,125 and the other one, $1,200. So clearly then, to maximize my function, what I would want to do is have 150 hamburgers and 150 hot dogs being sold. Got a little bit of homework for you here. Only 3 questions once again. Just try and follow the instructions as best you can. And I totally forgot to talk about my Marvel superheroes. Let's just say that out of all of the sequels, I have to say that Avengers Age of Ultron was pretty good. Captain America Winter Soldier was the best. And it didn't get good ratings, Thor, The Dark World, but I quite enjoyed it. If you've got some time, try out one of these movies. Thank you.